Hello everyone, welcome to the 8th session on oil hydraulics and pneumatics. In this session also we are going to continue with the fluid power system symbols. For this specific video, we are going to cover up the direction control valves symbols. But before that, we need to understand exactly what are the direction control valves. So let us take one very basic example. Let me say there is one load available over here and I need to move this load towards the right or towards the left whenever required. So for that, what I am doing, I am having a plunger available over here, and this specific plunger is actually connected with the piston cylinder mechanism which is available over here. Now, whenever this load is to be moved in the right direction, I need to pressurize the left side of the piston. So this point has to be pressurized. So let me say this point is number 1, and the pressurized point will move this piston in the right direction, and whenever I want to move in the left direction, what I need to do? I need to pressurize this specific right side of the piston. So the piston will move in the left direction and ultimately the load will be moved from the right to left. So let me say this is the second position. Now normally the hydraulic system has only one pump. Okay. Now this pump will produce the pressurized fluid, or say it will give the output of the pressurized fluid. Now whenever I want to move this specific load at the right side, I have to connect this pipeline towards the very first point, and whenever I want to move this specific load at the left side, I have to connect this specific line at the right side, or say point number 2. So every time I have to disconnect and connect the lines whenever I need to change the path, or say I need to change the direction of the load. Now to make this transition hassle free, we use one controlling device that will help me to control the direction or the path of these specific fluids. And this specific device is known as the direction control valve. Okay, why it is known as the direction control valve? It will help me to decide whether I want to move my fluid towards the position number 1 or towards the position number 2. So there are total multiple positions available in which the direction control valve can be actuated, and I can decide from those available positions. So this is where the direction control valve comes into the picture. Now, how to understand the symbol of the direction control valve? For that, I will be giving you the very basic example, and that example is the example of the tap that we are using at our house. Now, if you observe the tap, there are total 2 openings available of the tap. Now, this specific tap is not exactly a direction control valve, but it is a kind of valve that we use in a normal day-to-day life. Okay. So this has total 2 openings. There is one inlet available, or we can say this is the inlet port available, and there is one outlet available, which is also known as the outlet port. So I can say there are total 2 ports available. One is the inlet port and second is the outlet port. Now always remember that to represent any kind of valve, or say to represent any kind of control mechanism, we actually use a square. Now as there are total 2 ports available, one inlet port and second is the outlet port, I need to indicate 2 lines that represent the 2 ports. The lower line represent the inlet port and the upper line is actually representing the outlet port. Clear? So this is a square, and the lower and the above line is actually showing the number of ports which are available to me. Second thing, if we observe the valve, there are total 2 positions available, or say 2 possible options available. I can keep my valve closed and I can keep my valve open. So there are total two possible positions available. Very first is the closed position and second is the open position. Now to show the closed position in this specific square, what I will do, I will show the cap on both the ends. Okay, so basically I will be representing the caps something like this. Now this specific thing shows that the inlet port and the outlet ports are actually blocked. There is no fluid passing through the inlet to outlet. Now the second position is the open position, from where the fluid is going from the inlet to the outlet. To represent this situation, what I will do, I have to represent the second situation with the help of one more square. So always remember that if there are two possible positions available for the specific valve, you have to show two squares. If there are three positions, you will show total 3 squares, 4 position, 4 square. So basically number of square will represent the number of positions, and the number of points like this, or say notations like this, will represent the number of ports available. Okay, now you have to calculate those number of points on a single square only. Okay, so this is what you need to remember. Now over here, as you can observe, the flow is starting from the inlet and it is going into the outlet. So to represent that specific thing, I need to draw one arrow starting from inlet to outlet, something like this. So this specific thing represents that the flow is coming from inlet, which is this specific point, and it is going towards the outlet, which is available over here. Clear? So this is the very basic illustration, or say symbol, which is actually used to represent such kind of valves, or say such kind of control valves. Over here, let us understand some of the very basic features of this specific symbol. Very first thing that you are observing over here, the right side of this specific symbol is actually showing the normal position of the valve. I am keeping the valve normally closed. Whatever the taps we are using at the house, we are keeping those taps in a closed position. But whenever we want to use the water from the taps, what we will do? We will open that tap. So we can say that the specific tap is actually normally closed tap. We always keep that tap in the closed position. Whenever required, we actuate that tap and we open that specific tap. Understood? So the basic right side position actually shows the normal position or basic position of the valve. Over here, this is the normally closed position. Clear? Second thing, we actually show all the main data, yani ki all the notations like A, P or 1, 2 at the normal or the basic positions only. We will not show those kind of notations on the actuated position or any other positions. This is what you need to remember. And next thing, the left hand side that you are seeing is actually the actuated position of the valve, in which the valve is actually open. Okay, so there are total 2 positions. Very first is the normal or basic position, and second is the actuated position which is available. There can be multiple actuated positions, okay, and there may be some more than one normal or basic position also. Now let us understand what type of valves are actually available to us. So basically, when we talk about the types of valves, there are 2 types of valves available, where very first are the normally closed valve, second are the normally open valves. Now you have observed the normally closed valve over here. As you can observe, this specific symbol represents the normally closed valve that we have derived in a previous example. But if you want to observe the example of the normally open valve, it can be observed over here. As you can observe at the right hand side, this specific symbol or notations are available on this specific block. So this is the normal position of the valve, and which is showing that from the fluid is flowing from the inlet to outlet. So the valve is basically open. That's why we can say that this is the normally open valve. Understood? Now let us understand the designation of the valves. So for that I have taken two examples. This is the very first example in which I am having total 2 ports available, and this is the inlet port and this is the outlet port, and there are total 2 positions available. Very first, this is the closed position, and the second is the open position from in which the fluid is coming from the inlet and it is going to the outlet. Now over here, if you observe, this is a somewhat different situation. As you can observe, there is one P port available over here. Second, there is an R port available over here, and the third, this is the A port available here. Remember, I just told you that to identify the port, you have to calculate the number of notations which are available on only one square. Okay, because the second square will be the repetition of the same. Okay, so this is the first port P, the second port R, and the third port is A. So there are total 3 ports available. Clear? Secondly, to identify number of positions available, or say number of possible ways that valve can operate, you have to identify number of squares. How many squares are available over here? This is the first square in which the P port is closed and the flow is coming from point A and it is going towards point number R. So this is the very first position. Now this is known as the normal position, as we observed in the previous slide. So this will be our normal position because all the notations are available on this specific block. And in the actuated position, which is available at the left hand side over here, you can observe that this specific P port is actually getting the inlet and the outlet is going towards the port number A. So this is the actuated position. From P to A, the fluid is flowing and the R is actually closed one. So this is the first position and this is the second position. So I can say that there are total 2 positions available. Now such kind of valve is known as 3/2 way direction control valve. 3/2 direction control valve, this is the one name, or we can also say this is the 3/2 way valve. Clear? So you will be observing that the very first thing which is available, the very first number which is available is actually showing the available ports, or we can say available opening of the specific valve. The second term that you are seeing, which is 2, is actually showing the possible positions of that specific valve. Clear? So if I want to write down the name or say designation of the valve which is available over here, I can say that this is the 2/2 direction control valve, or say 2/2 way valve. Clear? Because it is having total 2 ports which should be indicated over here, the port number P and port number A, and there are total 2 positions available. Very first square is here and the second square is here, which will represent 2 positions. So this is how the designation of valves are given. Now let us check out some of the very basic example. These are the 2 examples that we have seen as of now. Let us take out one more example. So this is the one valve. Now let us check out what is the situation over here. So very first we will be checking out the square with the notations. So this is the square with notation. Over here you are observing that there are total 4 notations available. This is the first one, second, third and the fourth. So there are total 4 opening available, or say 4 ports available, we can say. And as you are observing, there is a first square available over here in which the fluid is passing from point number 1 to 2 and some fluid is returning from point number 4 to point number 3. This specific situation is available as the first position, and this is the second position shown with the help of the second square, in which the fluid is going from point number 1 to 4 and the fluid is returning from point number 2 to point number 3. Clear? So there are total 4 ports available and 2 positions available. So this specific valve is known as 4/2 valve. The very first point or say very first number indicates the number of ports, second indicates the number of positions. Let us take one more example. In this specific one, as you can observe, at the right hand side, the notations are given. So this is the normal condition of this specific valve. Over here, there are total 5 notations available. Point number 1, point number 2, 3, 4 and 5. So it can be said as the 5 port valve. There are total 5 ports available in the valve. And as you can observe, this is the very first position in which the fluid is returning from point number 4 to point number 5, and the fluid is going from point number 1 to point number 2, and third number is idle. So this is the first position, and in the second position, the fifth number is idle and fluid is going from point 1 towards point number 4, and it is returning from point number 2 to point number 3. So this is the second position. So there are total 5 ports available, 2 positions available. So we can say that this specific valve is 5/2 way valve, or say 5/2 DCV. Let us quickly check out total some more examples. Very first example is this one. As you can observe over here, you can take any one square. Let me say this is one square available over here. So there is one port point available over here. This is the second point, third point and the fourth point. So there are total 4 ports available. And as you can observe, there are total 3 squares available: first square, second square and the third square. So you can say that this specific valve is the 4/3 way valve. 4 ports, 3 position. Second example, over here once again I will take first square. Over here, as you can observe, this is the first point, the second point, then after third point, fourth point and the fifth point. There are total 5 openings available or 5 ports available, and there are total 3 positions because there are 3 squares available: first square, second square and the third square, which is available over here. So we can say that this valve is the 5 port 3 position valve, or we can say 5/3 way valve. One more example, let us take it very quickly. Total ports that are available are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. There are total 6 ports available, and the positions 1 square, second square and the third square. That means this is the 6 port 3 position valve, or we can say 6/3 way valve. So I hope you have understood the notation of the valves as of now, because we have taken numbers of examples for those valves. So once you understand the notations of the valve, let us understand what are the extra things, or say extra symbolic representation that are available on the direction control valve. Now to control the direction control valve, we use numbers of options, and we are going to check out those control mechanisms that are available for the direction control valve, because one position will be the normal position for the valve, but to use other position we have to use some kind of mechanism by which we can operate those positions. So those are known as the control mechanism for the direction control valves. Now what are those mechanisms available? Very first mechanism is a very basic mechanism, which is known as the mechanically actuated actuation by stem, or we can say by the help of the plunger. Okay. Second mechanism is the mechanically actuated actuation with the help of the roller lever, and the third is the actuation with the help of the roller lever with the idle return. Now as of now, these are the symbols available. Let me just practically show you what actual device looks like. So these are the actual devices. This is one direction control valve, and as you can observe, the symbolic representation is available over here. If you see closely, you will be able to observe that this specific valve is the 3 port 2 position valve, and it is represented with the help of this specific symbol. If you just see closely, and this specific symbol represent the plunger which is available over here. Understood? So this is how the plunger looks like. If you press this specific plunger, or say this specific button, the valve will get actuated in the second position, and once you remove the pressure, it will come back to the normal position. Understood? The second one is actually this one. This is the roller mechanism which is available. Just pull this roller and or say pressurize this specific roller, and this specific point that is available inside will be actuated. Okay, so this is the symbolic representation over here. And the third one is the roller with the idler return. So as you can observe, there is an idle return available over here. So these are the three symbols by which we can actually operate the direction control valve. Other than that, we are having the push button mechanism available. Okay, so this is the manual mechanism. We have to actually manually push the button and the actuator position will come. Until and unless we push this specific button, the direction control valve will stay in the normal condition. If I press this button, the valve will come in the actuated condition, and if I just leave the button, the valve will come back to its normal position itself. Second option is the lever mechanism that is available, and the third is also the lever mechanism, but it is the indexed mechanism. So whenever we are having multiple positions available, we are using the indexed lever. So there are total 2 options available for the lever. 2 times we can actually control the lever. So let me just show you the practical situation. This is the push button operated valve, and as you can observe, there is a symbol available over here which is showing the 3/2 valve. Actually this is the 3/2 valve, and the symbol is represented over here. If you can observe, this is the symbol which is available. And the second, this is the lever actuated valve. The lever is shown over here, and the indexed lever which is having multiple position is also looks like this. Okay, other than that, we are having the foot pedal operation available. So this specific symbol represents the foot pedal. Okay, second, we are having the option to control the valve in a pneumatic way. So as you can observe, this is a triangle available with the hollow section. That means there is nothing filled inside. So this specific thing shows that this is the pneumatically operated thing. If this is completely filled, it will be the hydraulically actuated valve. As of now, this is not filled, so this is the pneumatically actuated valve. And next thing that you are observing is the electrically actuated valve. The direct actuated valve is available, and this is also known as the direct solenoid actuated valve. So basically we are going to use the electrical component known as the solenoid in this specific mechanism. Let me just show you the practical scenarios. This is the practical direction control valve which is operated by the foot. So whenever you put the leg on this specific foot pedal, this valve will get operated in the actuated condition. Okay, this is what we can say the solenoid operated valve. So this is the solenoid operated valve, as well as this is the pneumatically actuated valve also. So these are the symbolic representation, and these are the actual representation of those valves. Other than that, we are also having the solenoid pilot valve available. So this specific thing represents the solenoid valve, but it will only get actuated whenever it gets the pilot actuation, and the pilot is actually the pneumatic control. As you are observing, the triangle is the hollow triangle. So this shows the pneumatic pilot line. Clear? Then after, we are having the manual override option. Many times many valves are having some manual override option. So whatever the situation is there, even if it is the pneumatically operated, even if it is the foot pedal operated, there is one manual override option available by which you can actually control the valve manually. So to show that manual override, this kind of symbol is used. Then after, we are having the pneumatically actuated differential piston dominating side. So this can be represented like this, and this is also the this specific one is the modified one, which is the pneumatically actuated differential piston, which is shown something like this. Okay. Other than that, once the system of the direction control valve gets actuated, we need to actually need some mechanism that actually resets or say returns that direction control valve into its normal position, and those return mechanisms are looking something like this. to represent those mechanisms, we use springs. Okay, so once you actuate the valve with the lever, some return mechanism is also required. So we can use the spring. Most commonly the springs are used. We can also use the air spring reset mechanism, which is shown something like this. As you can observe, there is a triangle available which is hollow, that shows the pneumatic system inside. Clear? So this is the air spring mechanism available, which will reset the valve to its normal position. And thirdly, they can also get combined. Okay, so these are the options available for resetting the valve. Let me just show you one basic example, so you will be able to observe whatever I have explained you. So as you can observe, this is the valve, which is actually total 5 port and 3 position valve. This is 5x3 valve. Now as you can observe over here, this is the pneumatically actuated valve. So this is one pneumatic line available, and this is the second pneumatic line available. Now secondly, if you are observing, there are total 2 springs available. So this is one spring and this is the second spring. Now whenever you see such kind of valve with 2 springs available at both the sides, the springs available with both the sides, you can say this valve is actually the spring centered valve. So in this specific valve, what will happen? The normal position will always be the center position. And as you can also observe, the notations are written on the center part. So this specific position is known as the normal position of the valve. Now, whenever you want to actuate this specific side, which is available at the left hand side of the normal position, you have to actuate this 14 number pneumatic side. Okay, so you have to pressurize this side. So what will happen? This position will get actuated. Now as you remove this pneumatic pressure, the spring which has been compressed over here will actually released. So what will happen? Automatically this direction control valve which obtained its normal position. Once again, if you want to actuate the right hand side position, in that case what you will do? You will try to pressurize the 12th port, 12 number available over here. So whenever it will get pressurized, this specific position will get actuated, and once you remove the pressure, the spring that is available over here will move this direction control valve into the normal position once again. So this is how the direction control valve can be understood with the help of the symbolic representation. Now the condition or say question arises, what are actually all these number means to us? So let us actually understand the numbering of all these ports. So there are total 4 categories of the numbering available. As you can observe, very first there is a numbering of the pressure supply. What is the pressure supply? The pressure supply is basically nothing but it is a kind of pump supply. So wherever you see the number 1 or P written on the direction control valve, like over here there is number 1 written, there is a P written over here. So it shows that the pressure line is actually getting connected over here. So this is the pressure line connection, or you can say the line which is coming from the pump will be connected to this specific number 1 or the specific point where the P is written. Okay, so this is what you need to remember. Second thing, the working ports. Now what do you understand from the working port? Working ports are something from where the line is going towards the actuator or another control valve. Okay, so if I am having a simple cylinder piston actuator available over here, in that case this point number 4, point number 2 will be connected with this actuator. So these are basically the working port. Point number 4, point number 2 are actually the working port. So they can be represented with the help of even numbers 2, 4, 6 in this way, or if you are using the alphabets, in that case A, B, C will represent a working port like A, B, which are available over here. The next terminology is related to the exhaust ports. Now if you use the odd numbers like 3, 5, 7, those represents the exhaust ports, like this one. This is the 5th number, this is the 3rd number, which actually represents the exhaust port. Now what do you understand from the exhaust port? Exhaust port are basically the return lines, the lines that are returning towards the reservoir or the sump, or we can say the tank. So whatever the term that we are using as an alphabet, as you can observe, R represents the return line or the reservoir, S represents the sump, and T represents the tank. So there are total 3 alternative terminology available for the exhaust, or alternatively we can use the odd number to represent the exhaust. So from this notation we can understand that the port number 5 will actually returning, the fluid will return from port number 5 towards the reservoir or the tank. The same way, from the point number 3, the fluid will also return towards the reservoir or the tank. Clear? Now, the last terminology which is available is related to the pilot ports. Pilot ports will be helpful to us for the actuation purpose. So if you are observing this specific part, number 12, number 14 are actually the pilot ports. They are actually coming from the main pressure line and or say main return lines, and they are trying to actuate this direction control valve. Okay, so this pilot port can be identified or say can be represented like 10, 12, 14, the numbers more than 10 in the event series, or you can use the alphabets like X, Y and Z alternatively. So this is how the numbering of the port is given. Now many times there is one term given L. Many times we are using the word L also. Now L actually represents the leakage oil port. Okay, so many times if you observe the term L, L shows the leakage oil port. Now let us just revise once again. P represents the pressure line, or number 1 will represent the pressure line. The even numbers or ABC, the startup of the alphabets, represents us the working line or say working ports. The odd numbers or the term R, that is representing the return line or reservoir, S for the sump, T for the tank, actually are the exhaust port, and the numbering beyond 10 in the even series actually represents the pilot port, or in the alphabets we can use X, Y, Z terminologies. So this is all about the numbering of the ports. Now let us quickly check out some of the very basic examples related to the direction control valve. So very first example that you are going to observe is this one. This is the actual figure of the direction control valve, and this is the graphical representation which will be available on this specific actual valve. You can observe that there is one illustration available which is nothing but the symbol which is drawn over here. So this specific valve is the manually operated valve, because the symbol that is shown over here is the lever which is having actually 2 positions. Okay, so at the first position there will be one normal position, and the second position will be the actuated position. Secondly, if you can observe, there are total 5 ports available. The port number 1, port number 2, 3, 4 and 5. And from the numbering you can say that number 1 is the pressure line. So the pressure will be connected, or say pressure line will be connected at number 1. The 2 and 4 will get connected towards the actuator, and 3 and 5 are basically the return line. They are returning towards the sump or the tank. Okay, so this is how you can understand the figure or say actual direction control valve. Other than that, if you are observing, there is a second position available. So there are total 2 positions available, very first position and the second position. So we can say that there are total 5 ports available and the 2 position available. So ultimately this is the 5x2 way valve. Clear? And as there is a lever, it is actually known as the manually actuated 5x2 way valve, and this is the indexed valve. Clear? So this is how you can understand the direction control valve. Second example, as you can observe, this is the actual direction control valve on which the symbol is given, and this symbol is represented over here. So let us quickly check out what kind of symbol it is. So as you can observe, this specific valve is actually having pneumatical operation. So this is the pneumatically operated valve. That means it will be operated with the help of air, but there is a return mechanism available, which is the spring return mechanism. Second thing, this is the normal position or basic position we can say, and this is the actuated position. How you understood this thing? Because the numbers or say notations are given on this specific square. Okay. How many ports are there? Total 5 ports. This is the main pressure line port. These 2 and 4 are the working line ports, and 5 and 3 are the return line ports. Total 5 ports available and 2 squares available. So this is the 5/2 valve. Clear? So this is what we are having, total 5/2 valve, and the full name of this specific valve is pneumatically actuated 5/2 valve with the single pilot mechanical spring reset. So this is the reset position, and the reset position is known as the mechanical spring reset. So whenever you see such kind of complex terminologies, don't get confused. This is basically representing each and everything which is available inside the direction control valve. Clear? Let us see some more complex example. This is the last example, one of the most complex example. So as you are observing, this specific valve is having total 3 positions, total 5 ports available. So this is the 5/3 way valve. Okay, understood basic thing. This is the pressure line, these are the working lines, and these are the return lines. Total 5 ports, 3 position. The first position, this position is the normal position, this is the normal position. First one is, this is the actuated position, this is also the actuated position. How it will get actuated? If you want to actuate this first section, you have to operate through this 14 number port, or say 14 numbers should be will actuate this first position, and if you want to actuate this second position, actuated position, you have to operate this 12th number. Okay. Then after, if you observe this symbol basically represents the electrically operated valve. This is the symbol of solenoid, but it is combined with the pneumatic arrow, which represent that this specific one, the solenoid that we are using, is actually the pilot operated solenoid. Okay, so this is the pilot operated solenoid on at both the sides. Secondly, it is having the mechanical spring return mechanism, and there is an option of overriding this specific thing. So if something goes wrong, or say if you want to operate it manually, you can override the things. Okay, so this specific point represents the override. So ultimately, this is basically, actuation is basically occurring electrically, but there is an option of manual overriding. Okay, and the operation is done in a solenoid, but there is a pilot valve. Clear? So this is the 5/3 valve, which is solenoid pilot valve having the true spring, and this is the center normal, the normal position is available in the center, and this is the spring centered valve basically. Okay. And as of now, as you can observe, the center position is ultimately the closed position. There is no fluid flow whenever there is a center position, or so we can say that this is the normally closed valve. Normally closed valve. Clear? So I hope you have understood all the terminologies that are available in the direction control valve. Just keep practicing this symbols, so you will be able to understand those symbols in a more proper way and quicker way. Keep learning. Have a good day.